welcome back to Dragon Warriors. We've got a slightly different lineup and more players this week, so I'll just have to quickly add a whole bunch more monsters to make it a challenge, obviously. You know, that's how it works. So they're deep in the jungles south of the trading town in Mungoda. They were seeking out a tribe called the Toctel, who are sort of a Aztec / Mayan civilization, human sacrificing sort of people, and they had apparently unearthed another pyramid deep in the jungle, similar to the one they visited before, which previously held a kind of demonic entity in a sort of prison. They managed to avoid conflict with some Volocreth in the woods, the sort of bird / parrot / hawk men, and ambushed a patrol from this village that seemed to be kind of outcasts of some kind from their greater society. Killed a bunch of them, captured some, interrogated him. He seemed to think that they were some kind of god, or Keridin, at least, was some kind of god. And when they released him, he went back to his village, and then not long after, what seemed to be the entire village came tramping out of their settlement around the pyramid to come and meet what they thought was a visitation from their gods and goddesses. At which point, our heroic adventuring party had it away on their toes into the underbrush and were deciding what to do next. I think the plan was to skirt around the crowd that's searching for them, and to make their way to the village while nobody's there, so that then hopefully they can get into the pyramid and deal with it.
That was the plan, as I remember it.
Okay.
Indeed it was.
Right, so you scurry away into the trees, covering your path as best you can, and leaving the sounds of the sort of impending village visitors far behind you. Skirt around as best you can with Dalewind's tracking skill and various mystical senses that many of you have. You're able to do that. The jungle around here seems to have been partially tamed. The paths that the Toctel were using cut here and there, and they've hacked away at the undergrowth a bit fairly regularly. They also seem to have hunted or gathered a lot of the small game around here, so there's less sound of animals. It doesn't take you too long to come within sight of the village. Right, there is...
If we're running through the jungle, Dalewin would turn to John's character and be like, "Is this what you meant to happen when you asked for the leaders to come? That's your plan all along."
No, I thought they would have understood that their leaders were the traitors to the god they worshipped, and they would bring them kind of coup d'etat like bound to us. That's kind of what I asked them to do, but they must have been persuaded otherwise by their own leaders.
Then it was good fortune then for us.
I guess I threw the dice, and they didn't exactly come up a 2 or a 12. They kind of hit somewhere around a 9 maybe, or an 8.
Well, that's a win in my book.
Yeah.
We're lucky.
You rolled a 5 on one, and the cat knocked the other one under the fridge.
There we go.
Right.
But Bugs Bunny, like the other one, would have been a 7, even though it's a 6-sided die. 21 on one card.
Before too long, the pyramid and the surrounding village come into sight. The villagers have clear-cut a lot of the forest around it, and there seem to be 2 well-trodden, yellow, muddy paths into the village itself, which is surrounded by an old, ruined, and vine-strewn wall. Every few meters along this wall, there is a carving that looks like a tiny skeleton with a big head sort of curled up on itself, with its chin resting on its fists. Some of these have crumbled and fallen, but most are intact. The wall isn't really much of a wall, it's what's left of what was probably a defensive wall back in the day. But the whole village backs onto a cliff that rises up out of the rainforest, and is also strewn with vines and various shrubs and so on. there doesn't seem to be a river or any particular well or water source. They must have to go to a river for their water. There are some newer buildings which have been sort of tacked onto and built around the ruins of the older buildings. There's smoke coming from the top of a few of these huts. They're sort of single roof slanted huts made from a combination of bamboo and local woods, and shored up on sort of stilts of stone to raise them above the ground. The pyramid itself is a stepped pyramid, wildly overgrown, but it looks like the front entrance to it has been cut away and excavated. There's a big spoil heap of dirt and rubble beside the entrance road, which leads directly up to the pyramid.
Is there anybody on the road?
No, there's nobody in sight. No guards, nothing.
Well, let's go while we have the chance. We have to see what corrupted these people.
Can someone actually remind us why we're actually in this flea pit in the first place? What we're actually after?
The tribal elder from the trading village sent a letter to you. These people have been preying upon his people and apparently killing them, sacrificing them, something. And they're focused around this presence, whatever it is, in this stepped pyramid. So he thought you dealt with the other pyramid close to them so well that he would engage your services to deal with the problem.
And what we're getting paid in cocoa, nuts, bananas,
whatever you can find within the pyramid, I would imagine. It's a good deed.
As though as a Tomb Raider. Oh, I'm getting too rich. Crap.
Yeah, so Dalen would be pretty like wanting to go quickly, right? Being very hurried, right? She knows that they're going to go to that clearing and then it's going to be empty after 5 minutes, and then they're going to come straight back, and we had to go the long way around, so they're probably like right on our heels.
Yeah.
So let's get in.
Yeah,
Let's
I think
get in
getting
there.
in quickly is advisable, and if I can sort of wipe away our tracks as we go, that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
I think you and I were doing that as we were moving.
Yeah, as best you could.
Not that they would come across our tracks anyway, because we went like the long way around. So
Sure, just now, just the last leg.
Okay. So any objection to just charging straight in towards the pyramid?
How much time do you think we have? Do we think we have before that mob of people makes it this way? Very roughly. Do we have enough time for me to use that fan, or?
No, that's an hour, isn't it?
Yes. Okay. In that case, yeah, I'm a little low on my my connection to the dragon energy, as it were. So I'll hold back and try and act as a support for everyone. So I guess, yeah, we forge ahead. No objections from me.
Do you have any potions of replenishment? I thought you had some.
Yeah, I think I may. I forget. I've never used one myself before in the game, so I'm not sure what they do. They
give you
restore
magic
points, of course. But,
Looking at my equipment list, Grim, I see that you didn't give me any healing potions when I asked for them last time when me and John were talking to you.
Yeah. They've been redistributed, I think.
What? How dare they? Someone's taking my healing potions off my cadaver. How dare they?
I'll give you. Oh, is my mic on? I forgot if I pressed it or not. Is my mic on?
Yes.
yeah.
I'll give whatever healing potions I have over to Cesara.
No, you keep a hold of them with you. You keep a hold of them. It's nice to ask. Because I did the shopping last time, yeah.
So yeah, I have on the mule. Do we have our mule with us still, or no?
Yes, you've still got your baggage train with you.
I'll give one. What does the potion restore? How many points?
I'm just trying to look it up. I think it's 2d4, but I'm not sure.
Okay. I will quaff one myself, and I'll hand one off over to
Yeah, it's 2d4 magic points.
To Yannick, so he
Yeah.
has one in backup as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So should I throw the dice, or do you want to throw the dice? Doesn't matter to me either way.
You go ahead.
All right.
That's a lot nice.
Oh, that came up a 1. Just as I said 1, meaning the first one. Shit. The other one 2. So 3 points in total.
Okay.
That's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe I should bring. What do I have here?
Better than a kick in the tits.
Do I have?
That's a potion of replenishment.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's 2 gone from the mule, and then that's slots 14 and 13 on the mule.
Okay.
And on my own personal equipment sheet, I have one in slot 7. I'll consume that as well, if it's possible to consume more than one.
You can indeed.
Okay, so 3 plus this roll result. 1 and a 4, 5. 8 total back from the 2 potions. All right, 8. I'll find my note sheet. And I don't know if these 2 healing potions on slots 5 and 6 should be there. I gave 2 away last time. I don't know if they were
That's
slots.
rearranged from other places.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. I'll mute now. I forgot to do that.
That's okay. Okay.
So does anyone know what language these natives speak?
Their own, but it's a derivative of Kaikahuran.
I think it was Brother Abbas who said speaks some Mongolian trade language.
That wasn't me. It was.
No, it was
Madrock,
Madrock.
who's got off to hide somewhere with a bag of treasure.
Surprise, surprise.
Right, so you hustle up to this pyramid. Yeah, it's all horribly overgrown. There's a definite weird kind of deformed skull motif going on. They're very sort of rounded square blocks which have skull faces with various different emotions on them all over this pyramid. And every single inch of it was probably carved at one point, but the weather and the vines have cracked the stone and worn away a lot of it. It was certainly impressive back in its day. The exterior, as you sort of come up to it along the path, around the exterior are a lot of tall stone columns, square again, like piled upon heads. Some of them are a little bit at a jaunty angle, but the entrance itself seems to be largely clear. There's a small stone altar at the front of the temple, and it's brown with crusted blood, which is also congealed and mixed with the mud around the base of it. Other than that, the entrance to the pyramid is directly ahead, and it seems unnaturally dark. Like the sunlight cuts off almost immediately inside the entrance to this place.
Does somebody have a torch they can use?
Yeah,
I've just heard it's free.
you've got your baggage carriers with you, Panu's grandchildren. They can carry lanterns for you. So
Yeah. I'll give my lantern to one of them to carry for me.
yeah, he hoists it on a pole and sort of looks nervously around the whole place. It is a bit spooky because it's clear that everyone just kind of up sticks and left in a hurry.
Is it like that tomb, like eerily quiet feeling where like every single step you make makes like these echoing like sound down the corridors and stuff? Or
Well, you're not actually inside yet. You're still just outside the front, but the whole village is just everyone upped and left. So it's
I missed that. Okay, yeah, let's head in. I think, right?
I concur. Lead the way, gentlemen. Men-at-arms to the fore.
Okay. Who's in front?
Do we have a bruiser?
Sizora and you are the real fighters, close fighters.
All right. So you said me and Sisora?
Yep.
All right. I'll stand on the right.
Okay.
Right front.
I would like to just prepare everyone. I may, if we face some horrible monster from beyond imagination, lost, unanchored, out of its own time, still alive, present in ours, I may summon some monstrosity made of phantasmal energies and so on, as I did last time with Sizora when Sizora was injured. It's not a demon springing forth out of Sizora or anyone else for that matter, but to intimidate our enemies, I may make it appear as if it comes out of myself or one of you, just kind of separates from you and then morphs into this ghostly, dripping creature and just rushes at them, rending them to pieces. It's us doing that, not some entity.
If you choose to summon a demon, I won't tell anyone.
Okay.
Yannick spends a little bit more time peering into her spell book, looking at his spell book.
Right. We don't have Madrock with us, do we?
I have faith that Valandar will let me know the direction of danger.
There's a spell listed on this sheet. It's a rank 7 spell called Deathlight. Dear Lord in heaven.
Yes, it's quite powerful.
It's horrifying.
What's Yannick's reflexes?
Yannick's reflexes are certainly faster than my ability to answer this question. 10.
10. Sizora's reflexes is 16, isn't it? Sorry, I just need to get this queued up. Okay, so as Sizora's foot crosses the threshold of the entrance to the temple, you hear a sudden echoing, shrieking sound from the various columns that line the entrance, and a horrible, cacophonous flapping coming from the top of them. Derwin, action.
I'm sorry. What did I see or hear? I missed that.
So, as Sizora's boot crosses the threshold to the pyramid,
yes,
you suddenly hear shrieking coming from the tops of the columns outside the pyramid.
Gotcha.
And a cacophony of flapping mixed with the shrieking.
Okay, can I see anything, or do I just hear it?
You just hear it because you're focused on going into the pyramid at the moment. So,
okay,
what to do?
So I'll draw my weapon, and is there like readied actions in this? Can I just be like, when it comes into the firelight, I try to blast it as it comes in at us, or something?
Basically do a move and one action normally. So preparing your weapons, your action, but you can turn around and look as well.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
Sword
just
or...
preparing my weapons, the action anyway. Okay, so I just pull my weapon out and then like prepare for bad stuff to come our way.
Sword or bow ready?
Let's go with the bow because they're flying monsters.
Yeah. Okay, so you bring your bow round, knock an arrow, twist round, and look. There's a host, a lot, a couple of handfuls of leathery winged grey skeletal things flapping away from the tops of the columns and beginning to swoop down towards the entrance.
Above us!
Sizora.
That's like... Who's next?
Sizora. If Jason's there.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm
Okay.
slotting.
I
Slotting in my...
wondered if you dropped off, because that does happen sometimes.
No. It's my internet acts up.
Yeah.
Right, I'm sheath my twins and go into a defensive pose. 1 to attack and 1 to parry.
Okay. So you draw your blades and stand to defend. Do you want to move to the back to block these things? Because you're at the front at the moment.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. So you draw your blades, move to the back to cover the others, and hold yourself ready for when they attack. Right. One sec. Okay. 2 of these things come ravening down towards Dalewyn, claws outstretched, ready to attack. You have to split your defense between them. So, what's your defense, and how do you want to split it between the 2 attackers?
We still have our standard bearer grip.
No.
Well, don't say he's dead, is he?
No, they didn't bring him on this trip. So, Cam, what's
They're
your
on
defense?
vacation. They're back in Fairmane with their families taking a break this time out.
Oh.
I heard my name. Am
Yeah,
I missing
yeah.
something?
Yes, what's your defense? You're being attacked.
Oh, yes, 8.
Okay. So you have to split that in half, just 4 on each one?
There's 2. Yeah, I'll split.
Yeah.
I'll split half and half.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. I just rolled 2 botches for their attacks.
Yeah.
Okay, they come hurtling in towards you. You duck with amazing speed beneath their claws, and they've misjudged, and they overshoot you and slam into the wall of the pyramid at high speed.
Amazing.
Sort of bounce off it like stunned birds, hitting double glazing, and sort of flap and try to recover themselves. Cesora, what's your defense split 2 ways?
6 and 5.
6 and 5. Okay, 1 swoops over you, and as you twist and try to recover from that, the other one strikes you across the back. What's your armor rating?
3.
Okay, it gets through your armor and does 7 wounds of damage across your back. Its talons are like filthy razors, and it slit through the back of your armor and into the flesh beneath.
Yikes.
That's something would be you in the fells.
That's a big yes.
What's Keridan's defense?
I'm just taking a moment to unmute because I don't normally have it on. It is 7.
7. Okay, 1 comes hurtling past, dropping a rock, but it misses you and slams into the ground by your feet. What is Yannick's defense?
Yannick's defense is 8.
Okay, a rock narrowly misses you as well. And Abbas?
8.
Okay, one of them comes hurtling in towards you, folding its wings for speed, but then seems to recoil slightly as if being near you is uncomfortable, and just barely misses, slitting your throat with its claws.
Right, I've just looked at my defense grim. It's actually 13.
split both ways. One would be 7 and one would be 6.
Okay, well,
So-
keep it in mind for the future.
Yeah, it's just because I was in a defensive post because I've got main Gosh up.
Yeah, because you get +2 for that.
Yeah.
Right, next turn. Delwyn.
I'm gonna blast one of those creatures that slammed into the wall. Now that they're like in the open, in the light, you know.
Yeah. Okay, it's stunned, so just roll under your attack to hit with the bow.
All right. Well, we're actively being attacked by flying enemies, so I'm not going to sacrifice any of my defense. I'm just going to do my normal attack, I think.
Yeah.
Roll a 20, so my
That's a
bow
botch.
snaps.
Well, let's see how bad a botch. Let's roll a 10-sided dice. Use that to gauge how terrible events turn out to be. Why can't I find a D10? I've got dozens of dice here. Anyway.
Is this when Grimstream snaps?
I could roll a d10 for you if you want.
No, I got it.
Okay.
No, just the string twists to one side and takes the feathers off that side of the arrow while shooting the arrow about 3 feet in front of you.
Excellent.
Unfortunate.
My hands are like shaking like crazy, I'm sure.
Yeah.
These creatures are nightmares come to life.
Cesora.
I'm going to attack one of the stunned ones and still keep my guard up.
Okay, so it's one attack with one sword.
Yep.
It's stunned, so it can't defend itself, so just roll under your attack.
3.
Okay. That's a plus weapon, so it's going to go straight through the armor. So roll damage.
For the short sword of Valdar, D +4, so that will be 9.
Wait, +4. You don't think you get a bonus to damage, you only get a bonus to armor penetration. So it should be
Oh, right.
D8 +3.
Well, on my short sword of Valdar, it says D8 +4. Yeah.
Let me have a look.
Which was, short sword of Valdar, D8 +4, D6 +3.
Okay, the second number is the damage. The first one's the armor penetration. So
Altogether 7.
So D6 +3, 7 damage. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so while it's stunned and flapping around and trying to regain its composure and get airborne again, you leap up and jam your sword into it. Its flesh burns and sizzles against the blade, and it shrieks in agony, but it's not dead yet. Right. So Daewon's defense split 2 ways, was 4 each. Okay. 2 of them swoop around you again, sort of jinking and diving to keep away from wherever your bow is pointed as you knock another arrow. Neither of them manages to land a blow.
Awesome.
Cesora's defense then was what?
13.
Oh, would
Plus
you-
2 because I've got using main Gosh. So
Yeah.
that's +2, but my defense normally is 11. So,
Okay, so it's 13 then, yeah.
Yeah, it's 13.
So 6 and 7. Okay. They wheel around you. The one that you stabbed tries to rake you with its foot claws, but can't manage to get a grasp on you as you drop back down to the earth. So you're lucky. A man in a feathered headdress and carrying an obsidian spear comes running up from the side of the pyramid, stares at what's going on with his mouth hanging open.
I guess he was taking a nap while everyone left the town or something.
Right. What was Carradon's defense again?
It is 7.
Okay. Yannick's was
8 with shield.
okay. They're being remarkably unlucky and not hitting any of you. And Abbas?
8 as well.
Oh, you're hit. What's your armor level?
My armor is 5.
Okay. A rock hits your shoulder and bounces off, but your armor absorbs the impact. Otherwise, these things just seem to be dive bombing and flying all around you and not really doing much except scaring you, really. Okay. Carradon.
I am going to, if it's possible, release a dragon breath at one of them as it's diving and moving and making a pass at one of us that happens to fail to connect, if that is
Yep.
reasonable. Okay. The speed for the attack is 12. Once you know
Okay.
what number I aim for, I will throw a die.
You need 5 or under on a d20.
Oh my. All right, here goes 10. I miss.
Okay, so you belch fire into the air as one flies over you, but it twists and jinks around it. And Yannick's go.
All right, so there's one that had just struck at me and now is sort of in front of me. Is that about right?
Yeah,
And then there's a bunch all over the place, but I got one in front of me.
yeah.
Will my enhancement spell increase my, make my attacks and defenses better?
Which
It
spell?
says in enhancement. It says spell expiry, strength and reflex boosts to 18.
Okay.
Oh my.
What's your strength normally?
My strength normally is 10.
Okay.
My reflexes normally is 10.
Let me just have a quick look then. So, strength 10 normally. Okay, and up to 18, it'll give you +2 to your attack. And +1 to your defense when you use it.
Very good. All right, so I'm going to cast that.
Wait, and you said reflexes as well?
Yes.
That'll add another 1 to your attack, another 2 to your defense, another 2 to your evasion, and another 1 to your stealth. So that's a total of plus 3 attack, plus 3 defense, plus 2 evasion, and +1 stealth.
I'm sorry, did you say +2 or 3 evasion?
Plus 2 evasion.
Thank you. And plus what stealth? Sorry.
+1 stealth.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'll cast that spell, and then I'm going to go ahead and attack the creature in front of me.
Okay, because you can cast and do stuff at the same time.
Yes, sir.
Right. Attack roll at -9. So take 9 away from your attack and roll under what remains.
Alrighty. I rolled a 6. I believe that is successful.
Okay. It's going to penetrate the armor, so just roll the damage.
Okay. I believe the damage is 1d8 plus 2, if I'm using the sword.
Sounds right.
Okay, 7 damage.
Okay. Right. So you feel your muscles and your body being empowered by the magic. You seem to sort of swell, your muscles bunched, your blood's pumping, your veins are standing out. And then you just cleave this thing, knock it to the floor. It's still flapping and trying to get away again. But for the moment, you've got it knocked down to the ground. And Brother Abbas.
I'm going to try and hit one with a mind bolt.
Because that's what you do now.
Mind bullets.
Yes.
Right, I'll make my psychic exhaustion roll first. Just a second. So it'll be under 14 because it's a level 5 spell and I'm level 6 at the minute. No, I'm fine. I rolled a 2.
Okay.
And it is speed 16.
Okay, so 9 or under to strike with it.
9 or under, okay. Just rolled an 8.
Okay, roll damage.
It's 3d6 plus 1.
Oof.
Yeah. Taking into account armor as well, though.
Yeah.
$12 points of damage.
12. Jesus. Alright, so you stop a moment, say a prayer, and then gesture towards one of these flying creatures, and the air distorts as this sort of power of your mind strikes it and knocks it wheeling through the air, bleeding from various ruptured blood vessels and cracked bones. Right.
I definitely need to try that claw spell this adventure as well.
Oh. Right, new turn. Dalewind.
Are these two creatures that are attacking me like up in my face, or are they just sort of like dive bombing me?
They're sort of sweeping past you on their attacks.
Okay, so I can wheel around and try to take a shot at one as it comes past.
Yep.
So it's just under my attack, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so it's exact 14, so it's an exact hit.
Okay. Roll to penetrate armor.
Yeah. I got a 7.
So that's through armor and damage.
Another 7.
You notch another arrow, spin round, and track one as it comes in towards you, firing your arrow as it moves into its flying charge. Your arrow takes it straight through the face, and it hits the ground and tumbles to land in front of you. Caesura.
Is this old fart a threat or an ally to us?
He's not an old fart, he's just some guy from this place. He's got a spear and a shield and a feathered headdress and sort of skull-shaped face painting, and all he's doing is sort of standing there, mouth agape at the moment.
Okay. Does this swarm of impish creatures look like they're in a group in any way, or they're all separate?
But they're all sort of wheeling around and dive bombing you in turns. So they're working together, but they're not. They're in a cluster around you, if anything.
Well, since this old fart's not this spear dude has not done anything,
Yeah.
except for Joggot, I'm going to give him something to go Joggot. Flashbang in his face.
Okay. Make an attack roll at -3. So take 3 away from your attack and roll under what remains to land the flashbang in the right vicinity.
5, no problem.
Okay, so you hurl one of your flash pellets. It flies through the air, lands at the guy's feet, and goes and incinerates a bunch of dry leaves. And he drops his spear and slaps his hands to his face.
Good.
Right.
There's a friend before, so
Yep. What's Derwin's full defense? 8 then, yeah?
Yes. 8.
Yeah. Okay. One flies past you, and another rock hits the ground right in front of you, but doesn't hit you. Caesura, 6 and 7 defense?
well, I've got 13 for defense because I've used a main dodge.
Yeah, but you got to split it 2 ways, remember?
Yep. So that's 13. Yeah, 6 and 7 again.
Okay, you're struck twice, both of them going either side of you. What's your
Talk about
armor?
being split.
Armor rating?
factor
3.
Yeah.
Okay, one scratches across your armor without penetrating and catching any skin. The other one does manage to sink its claws into you and grabs hold of your shoulder and clings on, doing 6 wounds of damage. How much you got left?
4.
Right. The blind guy falls to his knees, screaming out something in a language you don't understand. Okay, none of the rest of you are hit by any of the sweeping, gaunt, imp-like creatures. The one going for Abbas veers off again at the last minute, splashing him with some blood from its existing wounds, and bumps off the side of the pyramid, hurting itself.
Crazy drunk demon.
Yeah. Shouldn't have had all that chocolate before they attacked you. Right, Keridon.
They have been called off. Is that what I understand you to say in response to this man's calls?
No, they're not paying any attention to him whatsoever. They're pressing the attack.
All right. In that case, is there any would using tangled roots, because we're in a jungle and there's so much growth out there, to snatch one of these things out of here? Would that be totally out of
You're right near the pyramid, which is still covered in vines, so I'll allow it in this instance.
Okay, I will then use that against one of them to just hug it and cocoon it down against the pyramid out of the fight.
Okay.
I'll mark down my magic point expenditure.
Is there a speed on that?
I will, that in just 1 second here. Tangled roots. 15 meters, speed 14, or immobilized for 2d4 rounds.
Okay.
Cutting.
So
High strength.
7 or under to grab it with the vines.
Oh, no. Nope, a 10.
Okay.
Hell.
So you mutter your invocations and reach out towards it, and in response, a bunch of the vines pull loose of the pyramid and flail in the air around it, but don't manage to hit it. Yannick. Your spell
Very
is
good.
still active.
Very good. Will I have the option to attack and also try to heal the paladin or whatever who just who's down to
Is
4?
it a spell you're using to heal?
Yes.
Then yes, you should be able
Okay.
to.
Okay. It was the issue of movement I was concerned with. Anyway, the one in front of me that seems to have be down on the floor, I'm going to go ahead and attack it.
Okay, finish it off. Okay, make...
That appears to be a miss.
Okay, you got a 20, did you? Or...
I rolled a 16.
Okay, well, its defense is 9, so... Yeah, that's probably a miss. Alright, so you stab down at it, and then you want to throw magic at Cesora?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I'm going to heal him for 1d4.
Okay. Roll 1d4.
That would be 2 points.
Okay, so Cesora gets 2 health back, and you lose however many magic points it was.
Yep.
Right, Brother Abbas.
I'll go with another mind bolt. Feeling lucky. We'll try claw in the next encounter. Stick with what I do best. Right, so under 50. Yep, not psychically exhausted.
Okay, its evasion is 7, so take that away from the speed.
Speed is 16.
So 9 or under.
9. Yep, 6.
Okay, and roll damage.
And 11 points of damage minus armor.
Okay. So you rest your gaze upon one of these things as it flaps and tries to get altitude again, ready for another dive, and then blast the power of your mind at it, and it just explodes in midair, showering you all in gore and bits of bone and leathery wing.
Sorry about that.
You're not sorry at all, I don't believe you.
Some got in my mouth.
Tastes like chicken.
Undead chicken. Right, Dalewind's turn. Yeah, so one just exploded in the air. There's you've taken down 2 so far. There's another 5 left.
All right, well, just keep pincushioning them, you know? We'll shoot at the other one that's been coming, like, doing sweeping runs at me.
Yeah. Okay.
Roll a 3, so that's a hit.
That's a hit. Roll to penetrate armor.
Roll a 3 on the penetrate armor.
So straight through and damage.
5. So I put my foot up on the rock that's on the ground in front of me, using it to like jump up into the air, spin around, line up the perfect shot in the air, fire the arrow at the fleeing rock, and get it as it's flying away.
Yeah, and then land on your ass.
Yeah, good.
Right, the arrow punches through its wing upwards, so it goes through like 2 panels of its wings, tearing big holes in them, and has to flap much harder to stay airborne now.
I can kiss that arrow goodbye.
Cesora.
Ooh, how far away is this blind dude?
You could reach him at a full tilt sprint.
I'll go chasing up to him
Okay.
against these winged imps.
And you're going to stab him, or what?
I'm gonna knock him out.
Okay. So, what, pommel attack? Or unarmed?
Pommel.
Okay. Roll to hit. He can't defend himself, so just roll under your attack.
2.
That's a hit. Can't
D6 damage.
no armor to speak of. Can't use his shield. Yep, D6 damage.
5.
Right, you conk him on the head, but he is still awake. Just has an ouchy head now.
Well, the thing is, no one told me what these natives, who are the friends and who are the foes, so I'm just like cautioning this guy.
Oh no, these are well, they're at least somewhat foes.
Thank you.
Okay.
At least you're in the game.
Right. Delwyn, the one that you winged, comes hurtling back down towards you, angrily, ripping the arrow out of its wing and using it to try and stab you.
Nice.
So your defense is 8.
It is.
So that's a hit, I'm afraid. What's your armor factor?
1.
Okay, straight through your armor.
Nice.
Takes 7 wounds of damage.
Yikes. I pale as my lifeblood leaves my body.
What are you at? Minus
2. I'm at 2 now.
Okay, so it slams into you angrily, stabbing you over and over again with your own arrow until it breaks.
Damn
And
it.
this bug-eyed skull face right in your face. Ah! Caesura, while you're beating this guy over the head repeatedly with your pommel, 2 of them follow after you. Neither one manages to land a blow, though. You're running too fast and they can't time it right. The blind guy blinks his eyes a couple of times as you hit him and then seems to focus on you. But fails to land a blow because he's still got spots in front of his eyes. So he tries to punch you but fails. What's Carradin's defense again?
7.
What's your armor factor?
It is 2 points, I believe. Armor factor 2. Yes, 2 points.
Okay. One of them snatches a piece of crumbling masonry from the pyramid, swings around and hurls it at you with its foot claws. It strikes you across the side of the head. Take 5 points of damage.
That smart's awfully bad. Jesus.
And the one fighting Yannick just sort of wheels around, tries to land blows on him, but can't. Carradin, your turn.
Alright, it's time to get these things gone. I am going to cast...
Bum, bum, bum.
I don't know if I should stoof that. That's 6 points, 5 points.
You need something with high speed or that doesn't allow for an evasion roll because they're quite nippy.
Yeah, I'm noticing that. Command requires me to understand or to understand each other, so this is a jungle environment. I have the chill spell and a stone that allows me to cast them for lower. So maybe that the nature of the frost damage or the chill damage would maybe make them a little more afraid. Chill. Oh, it's only for melee attackers, so it would be against myself. That's a defensive spell. Christ.
Well, they are. So, that one dropped a rock on you, but they have been swooping at you.
How many are flying about?
5 still.
5. You know what? I'm going to unleash a death light. I'll spend the magic points for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And does this game system, so far I haven't sensed it, does it have any kind of destiny or fate mechanic or save your ass with a special concurrency system at all?
No, you can spend additional magic points on spells.
Oh, please do tell.
I'm just trying to remember how that works because no one's ever done it before.
Of course I'll wait, but I mean, I'll eagerly wait. I'll have a look at the Dragon Warriors PDF.
Yeah. Using extra magic points. Okay, that's only really to penetrate magical defenses like Wall of Magic and so on. So it's not really something that helps here. Though I might house rule that differently when I've had time to think about it. Right, Deathlight. Okay, that's speed 16. That's not bad at all. Okay, so roll 1d4 to see how many of these things you can target with it. You're muted. John. You can't hear.
I can hear now. I was looking at the character sheet. I said I'm going to do a two-handed roll, and I put my hands up, and I let it go using the orange one, and I got a 3.
Okay, so he hit 3 of them, or potentially hit 3 of them. Their evasion is 7, so take that away from 16. You got a 9 or under on d20 3 times.
All right, I've got 3 up here in my hands. I'm going to chuck them. 8, 17, and 4.
So 2 hits. Okay, and then the damage is something obscene.
Yeah,
3d6 plus 10. Yeah.
Should I roll a base 3d6 that applies to all of them, or two different iterations?
Yeah.
Okay, 2 different, orange and blue. All right, here we go.
My mind blast better.
11 for the first one and 12 for the second one.
Okay, so plus the 10, so that's 21.
Yeah. Oh, God.
21 and 22, minus their armor, which is 1. Okay. So, bleeding from your head wound, you thrust your hand up into the air and call a powerful invocation. Light streaks down from the heavens, hits your hands, and then blasts outwards in all directions like a fan. It strikes across the pyramid, incinerates a whole load of vines and stuff there, and knocks more masonry loose. Cuts a tree in half across the other side of the road, and 2 of them are burned out of the air by the blast.
Nice. Crispy chicken bits everywhere.
Yeah. Ash and bones flutters down out the sky.
It's raining ash.
I'll unleash just a blood-curdling scream and wave both of my hands now like I'm going to begin targeting all around me.
I'm just gonna look at him and just go and just tut and go under my breath. Shower.
Right, Yannick's go.
All right. Is my spell still in effect?
Yep, it is.
Very good. All right, so I'll strike the one that's in front of me still.
Yep.
I roll a 15.
Its defense is 9, so I'm guessing that's a miss.
Yes.
Okay. So you swipe the air with another one of these powerful blows, but it's just devoting most of its time to doing aerobatics.
I think I'll try another one of my phantasmal warriors on one of the ones in the air.
Okay. Spend the magic points.
Yes, sir.
Now it does an attack, doesn't it? Not a speed thing.
Yeah, it's an attack.
What's its attack? 18.
18.
So 9 or under to hit.
Okay. That's a hit. I rolled a 2.
Armor penetration.
Armor penetration is 8.
And damage.
Damage is 7.
Okay. Right, so you swipe and miss, and then gesture with your free hand towards one of them that's flirting around in the sky, and a spectral warrior just coalesces out of a stray drift of mist and cuts it out of the air in 2 halves.
Hell yeah.
Right, and Brother Abbas, there are 2 left.
There'll soon be one left. Hopefully. I'm going to mind bolt it.
Okay, go for it.
So under 15 for the exhaustion. Still not exhausted on an 11. And under 9, I think it was to hit,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
their evasion is 7. So
It's speed 6.
yeah, so 9 or under.
Yeah. Yep, rolled a 6.
And damage?
So,
Are you sure it's a 6? It could be a 9.
no, it's definitely a 6. I'm using an online one. It's easier than having to mess around with all my dice. Oh, nice. 17 points of damage minus armor. I rolled 2 5s and a 6.
Okay, so you turn your ravening gaze upon another of them and just concentrate at him hard until his head bursts. Right.
Wild-eyed Roy Batty. His head go off. That's the spirit. I just...
Right. One left, and it's already wounded. Dalewind's go. It's
Yeah.
the
Is
one...
this the one that's on top of me, like stabbing me with this arrow?
No, he got exploded by magic. It's the one fighting Yannick.
Really gross. Okay, so I'll slowly stagger to my feet, dripping blood out of the wound in my shoulder, and try to finish it off.
Okay.
Let's see. I roll 15, so I miss. Arrow goes wide, hits a wall.
Yeah. Well, it's got a chance, a vague chance of actually...
And then I collapse onto the ground.
Alright, Caesura, you're in fisticuffs combat. Well, pommel versus fist with this Tokel guard. What do you want to do?
Knocking out.
Give him another smack on the head.
Yeah.
Okay, his defense, which he can now use, is 8.
So I have to get 14 or under. Is
Yeah.
my attack swell.
Yep.
Okie dokie, let's roll this dice off bait and let's see what I get. I get a 6.
Okay. Don't need to worry about armor penetration, so just roll damage for smack him on the noggin again.
5.
Okay, he is still just barely upright, though he's looking rather cross-eyed.
Can I not shove him off the ledge?
He's not on a ledge. He came around the corner of the base of the pyramid.
Oh, boring.
Right. Yannick, this one remaining one flapping around you, and they seem determined to fight to the death, so they must be tomb guardians of some kind. Manages to land a blow across your face. What's your armor protection?
My armor is 5.
Okay. It gets through your armor, so it's through the chain links draping your face, but only does 1 point of damage.
Very good.
Right. The Tokel who's fighting Caesura dives past him to grab the spear and come back up, ready to fight with it next turn, if he doesn't get knocked out. Kerridan. Oh, did John have to go or something for a second?
I don't know.
John, you there? Might be wrangling his pets.
You might have, it looks like you got disconnected or something. It's just a user picture.
Oh,
there you go.
Welcome back, John. It's your go.
I apologize for the delay. Mum has taken some of her prescribed pain medicine, and it's affecting her pretty badly with her other meds today. She's a little out of it.
Do you need to go? Are you okay?
No. But if my camera goes off, it's because I'm attending a call from her or something like that. She's having a bad day today.
Okay.
But there is 2 tussles going on for what I remember. 1 fly critter, and then Caesura and the guard.
Caesura and the guard, yeah. So there's 1 flying critter left, and that's in combat with Yannick.
I'm just going to try to intimidate it, maybe to fly away or not to approach or take an attack against us by gesticulating like I'm going to fire out more light at it, and I'll just kind of scream a bloodthirsty scream at it.
Okay,
Hopefully it'll help its attack.
Roll d20 equal to or under your looks.
Okay. 5.
Okay. So you scream at it. It does draw its attention, though it doesn't seem to leave. Yannick, you're faced off against this thing, and it is distracted, and your magical enhancement is still up.
Very good. All right, I'm going to charge. Try to get this thing under its ribs.
Okay. Its defense is only 6 because it's distracted. So take that away from your attack and roll to hit.
I rolled a 4.
Okay. Roll damage.
Okay. No armor penetration?
No,
or is that
don't need...
only...
You're using a magic sword, so it just cuts straight through.
Oh, okay. Alrighty, that would be 3 damage.
Okay. You charge, but don't manage to land a decent blow on it. If it had had its feet on the ground, you'd have had enough leverage to put the sword right the way through it. But as it is, it sort of moves with the stab and it only cuts through its side. But it's definitely looking worse for wear. Abbas.
My bolt.
Pew,
Who needs a sword when you've got the power of your noggin? I'm going to regret saying that later. I know I am.
Yeah. Exhaustion check.
Oh, shit. Yeah, we are. This time I rolled a natural 20. It still goes through, though.
It does still go through. Yeah.
Right, under 9. Yes, 6.
And damage.
We're going to have to change the name of Brother Abbas to Brother Mindboat.
Brother Hardbrain. 9 points of damage minus armor.
Okay, it is annihilated. You can tell he's religious because he's got lots of pews. Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
Anyway, you blast the last one out of the air. However, Caesar is still engaged with the Tokel, and it's Dalewind's go.
I guess I'm like dying in a pool of blood on the ground. And we still haven't managed to kill that last rock.
No, the last flying creature's dead, but Caesar is faced off against the Tokel guard that came running.
Oh,
that's what's left.
Yeah, does he look like he's like trying to like attack us? Like, is he like?
He looks severely concussed, and he's just picked up his spear.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll try to gather myself up and try to look threatening so that it doesn't come at us, you know?
You're standing and bleeding lots, so that's quite intimidating.
Yeah.
Caesar, do you want to finish knocking this guy out?
I'm going to headbutt the bastard.
Okay, make an unarmed attack. His defense is 8.
So I have to get 13 or under. Here we go. 6.
Okay. Block. And roll to penetrate armor, because it's a headbutt and not a magic headbutt.
That would be a 4.
And roll damage.
And that would be a 5.
Right. You smash your face into his head, and he stumbles over unconscious. Alright, we are out of combat.
I'm going to truss up this turkey.
Okay. The ground is strewn with pieces of these unnatural horrors. And now that they're all dead, they seem to be crumbling away, sort of rotting at high speed and breaking away into ash and dust.
I'm just going to be gently massaging my temple.
That took a lot out of the party, didn't it?
It did.
So,
Kevin, dear girl, are you there?
So I didn't take very much damage, but I definitely lost a lot of, definitely used up a lot of magic. So I guess who's wounded and needs healing badly? And do you think we should try to find a place to rest in here if possible? Because we can't really rest in the village.
We can't rest in the village. You're right. I may be of best help in healing folks. How many potions overall do we have? I have 2 marked on my sheet.
I have the one you gave me.
Okay. So then,
I have 2 as well.
okay.
How much do the healing potions heal?
7 hit points.
Oh. Well, then I stand up and I down one.
Okay,
There
you
you
regain.
go.
I think that's all
Reach
the
into
health
my
you took.
pull it out, pull the stopper out, just guzzle it. And
Popeye and a can of spinach.
all of these like arrow wounds on my like body heal up, so there's just like holes in my shirt.
Are we going to be leaving our horses and mules and whatnot outside the pyramid? I presume we are. They're not
assumed you left them
right?
somewhere a bit more distant from the
They are more
pyramid.
distant. Okay. Is there a time limit on when an elixir vitae can be administered?
I mean, there has to be basically there has to be a fleshy body for you to feed the potion to.
Okay. There's a few things I think we need to kind of reorganize, because I've just been going into the upcoming encounters with the sheet as it's aligned.
Yeah.
If there's any way for us either to have to track back to them to get a few things sorted, or can we just assume we go through maybe a sorting phase of our gear now, what we want to take with us?
Yeah. For the time being, just assume you've got access to what you need to have access to.
Okay, if we can just do that, that's fine then. Okay, that's no problem at all. I won't have to worry about it. Okay, in that case, I'm going to have to quaff another replenishment potion. And, oh, whoops, let me get that. I'm so sorry. That's the dog reacting to the front door.
Okay.
So yeah, like I'll quickly gather my arrows and say, we need to grab that guy and take him inside.
Do you
We
know how
can't
many?
be out here knocked out.
Do you know how many arrows you fired?
5. And one of them we like RP'd was actually like exploded.
You can get back 3 of them in serviceable order.
Okay, so I'm down to 10 then.
Yeah. Was anyone else taking any potions or anything? I think the only other person who took significant damage was Cizora, and he had a partial healing.
I've been wounded as well for 5 points, and I can heal myself slightly, I believe. A minor healing.
Yep. I think that's 3 health.
Rank 1 spell or a rank 2 spell.
And after you've taken your replenishment potion, you'll have extra magic points for that.
Yes. So one more replenishment potion is going to be scratched off. I'll use it right now. I believe it's on the mule.
Yeah.
Of course. Okay, you've got it. So healing myself. Where's lesser healing? Touch 2 points. So I'll heal myself of 4 points of damage to spend 2 more magic points.
Yeah.
And then, does anyone else want any healing touch-ups?
We have no way of recovering mana points chemically, do we?
The replenishment potions.
Really?
You were given 1. Yeah, it'll give you back 2d4 magic points.
Oh, yeah. Well, in that case, I'm definitely quaffing mine.
Okay.
There's just no potions that can make me unpsychically exhausted.
I think if a mystic takes a replenishment potion, it removes psychic exhaustion, actually.
I thought the only way to do that would be penicillin.
And,
or paracetamol.
and the replenishment is mana only, correct?
Yes, just mana, no health.
Very good. Thank you.
So does Abbas need a potion if it works that way for him too?
Oh, heck yes.
Okay, I have one last one on the horse, so if we can
I'll get that.
send that over.
Yeah. So, your psychic exhaustion lifts after you quaff this potion. And it
And,
reinfuses you.
I didn't take any damage, so I don't need any healing.
And for the potion I quaff, it is 5 points back. Okay.
Not bad.
All right. Let me get my sheet up here. I'll mute.
Right. So they'll probably be here quite soon. So
We need to make like a tree and leaf.
Yeah, we gotta get in here. You
yeah,
gotta get in the.
yeah. The idea was to hide inside. So yeah, you pass through the entrance. It's
So I guess I'll grab some of my rope and tie this like guy up that we knocked out.
Cesar had already trussed him up, but yeah, you can.
Okay.
You can tie
We'll
him
drag
up a bit
him
as well.
inside.
Drag him in.
Are we going to put something over his mouth to stop him yelping out as well?
Cram a sock in his mouth or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like an outer chamber on this ground floor of this temple, this pyramid. So there's an outer shrine of black lacquered wood, which doesn't seem to have suffered too much from time and the elements. So once you're inside, it looks in much better repair than the outside. There's an altar stone of blue marble against the north wall, and above it is a double-headed snake mask. There are some steps leading down into the pyramid, either side of that mask and altar, and there's a side section with a bronze grill or gate, which seems to be a sort of side chapel. That might be a suitable place to hide, if you don't want to dash further in and risk setting off traps or attracting more creatures.
And we're hiding for what purpose? Just to rest and recover a little bit, or to observe what the goings on here are?
To take our breath a little bit.
Okay.
Make sure we've got like a plan. You know, we're not just like rushing in.
So trying to go in through this gate, you find that the bronze grill gate is locked with some kind of strange mechanism from days past. It doesn't resemble the clockworks or locking mechanisms that you're particularly used to, though Cesora can still try and pick it if he wants.
I'm checking this guy's pockets first before I go in that pocket.
There are some dried strips of meat and some leaves, and that's about it, really.
It'll be either cannabis leaves or tobacco leaves. Have the fly smoke. Alright, let's have a look at this lock. Right. I spent a couple of seconds studying it before I go in for the kill grim.
Okay.
Any bonuses?
What's your normal percentage chance?
20%.
I'd penalise you by 5 because you've taken the time, because it's a really alien mechanism, but because you've taken the time, no penalty. So just roll.
27.
Sorry, 37?
27.
27. Okay, you fiddle with it. It's not that easy to pick because the lock isn't put together in the same way that you used to, but you do eventually manage to get it to tick round, click, and open. And that lets you all scurry inside and close the door and lock it again.
I'm bringing the guy in with us because I don't want
yeah.
anyone to know of it. So basically, pick up his spear, pick up his stuff, whatever he left behind, and then drag him in with us.
Yeah. So in here is a small shrine, which has a skeletal snake over it. So this seems to be a shrine to a lesser god or something. The little statue on the altar is either gold or coated with gold, and inlaid with semi-precious stones, topaz and turquoise. There are some impressive-looking cloaks made of feathers hanging on wooden stands in here, and there are pots of strong-smelling oils and unguents.
Do I recognize anything as having any ties to the kind of magic and sorcery I practice?
Nothing that seems that familiar. Some of the magic that you practice is derived from ancient Kaikahuran magic. That's kind of a root of it all. But not in your case. It's magic's approached as a science rather than as a faith. Whereas this is more of a faith. But some of the trappings and the oils and the other sort of tokens and aspects in here make you think that the magic that they're practicing is probably more like elemental magic, more similar to what was used by the followers of Baelor, rather than the kind of magical praxis that you're used to.
I understand. Thank you. I'll share that with everyone so that knowledge is shared party knowledge explicitly so. And
did I get healed, or did I miss that completely?
You got some healing.
I'm up at 6 at the moment.
Yeah. Do you want to take a potion?
Yeah, you might want to take one.
I had one if someone didn't take them.
All right. Well, we'll find a potion to give you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, a little lifesaver.
So have 7 health points back.
Thank you very much. So, we're finally in the Temple of Misunderstanding.
Was that anything like when you guys went to the other pyramid?
Not so much the feather gowns. No. It was similar in structure, but different decor inside.
You could use a warning that there'd be flying defenders.
At the last time, there was a fish monster in the oasis.
Yeah, and it tried to cover me big time. Yeah.
It got very affectionate with Cesora.
Yes, very affectionate. And some old guy like drinking the water at the swamp. What a weirdo.
Right, you hear voices outside, people talking and shouting and running about.
They must have seen us fighting the monsters. We have to go inside before they call a leader, call the army that's coming home, that sort of thing.
That sounded like a lot of people outside. You think that might well be the crowd that's arrived back?
Sure. Someone else might have seen us other than the man we have here.
They've no doubt seen the fireworks display up in the sky. Think about it. When Brother Apis was doing Mind Bolt, and when Ken Sheridan was doing this pokey lightning surge thing, whatever she did, it's obviously grabbed attention. So obviously they've seen the fireworks display. It's common sense.
Yes, it is indeed. It's one that I didn't actually pick up on. I was thinking to myself, what the hell? What did they see or hear something? But of course, the Deathlight spell would have been a monstrous disturbance in force, as it were, I guess, to anyone attuned.
So, Grim, does my illusion spell have a sonic component?
I think most illusion spells in this are multi-sense.
Okay.
So, let me just check.
Because depending on how long spells last, one option would be I could create an illusion spell to make it look like the tunnel collapsed, and that might prevent a crowd from following us further.
It's a level 3 spell, isn't it?
Yes, sir. But that's only like if I think I can get it to last for a few hours. I don't think I have that option.
Yeah, it looks, sounds, and feels like the real thing, but is illusory.
Okay. What's the duration on such a thing like that?
Standard spell expiry, I think.
Okay, so really only seconds or minutes then.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
Okay. Okay, so I don't think that's going to dissuade a crowd. So
there's more shouting outside, and you hear a grinding, rumbling noise as well.
I'll check and see if there's any passageways out of this.
The only way out of this side chapel is back out into the outer shrine.
So there's no illusions or anything around?
You draw that sword and cast your eye around and can't see any illusions.
Right. Are we going to face them guys one by one, or are we going to fucking surrender?
We need to go down the those stairs that are just outside the chapel. It'll take them a while to climb the pyramid after us, yeah?
That may be the case, but if we do penetrate further in, then we could have some folk behind us and some ahead of us. It might make sense if we can establish a defensive position here to pick them off with Delwyn's archery and some of our own ranged weaponry.
You're going to kill the whole village.
Oh no! Roughly how much time have we got with?
You don't know.
Minutes.
Do they sound close or do they sound distant still?
I think we should just push further in.
Wait!
and-
I just want to hear from Glenn.
Right.
Roughly.
If they come charging directly into the pyramid, you've got about 2 minutes. But they're probably, given all the weird unnatural sights, you've probably got a bit longer. Though that grinding noise and someone shouting orders and a lot of men sort of grunting in unison, you're hearing that quite a lot now, but you've no idea what that is.
Can I make a quick tripwire with 2 flashbangs on either end, so if they run in, the flashbangs will go off and scare them like a shit out of them?
Yes, you can.
Right, I'll do that then.
Yeah, so let's push further in, and
I'll catch up with you guys. You guys go deep in the temple. I'll catch up with you. If
Yeah.
not, smoke me a tobacco. Smoke me a kipper for breakfast if I'm not back.
all right, let's push further in, and that might scatter them if there's choices in the architecture here. And then if there's fewer of them to deal with, then I suppose we have the abilities to deal with it, including my short-term illusion spell, which we could probably use to get people to pass by us if we have to do that, you know?
Plus, if we find an error passive, we'd only have to fight them one at a time,
Yeah, exactly.
or 2 at a time.
Sounds good. Lead on.
Okay. So you come out from the side chapel and hustle towards the stairs down either side of the altar. Glancing back behind you, what little light was coming into the pyramid is being cut off. A great big boulder is being rolled for the sort of last couple of feet across the entrance
Of the chapel?
of the pyramid. Yeah. So they've sealed the door.
Well, that solves one problem and creates another. I like it.
We'll be able to get out. We can blast our way out if need be, with repeated heatings and coolings if it even comes down to that raw level of physics and magic intertwined. But we should be okay.
If we conquer one temple, we can conquer them all.
Right, so these stairs go down either side, then they terminate on a landing, and then more steps go down further, deeper. But there is a chamber on this level ahead of you. There's great big pillars of stone, all carved with that same skull image, going across the top, down both sides. And there is a curtain of shimmering iridescent feathers cutting off this next room from you. So you can either carry on down further, deeper into the chapel, or check out this room by passing through the curtain of feathers.
Well, if we're locked off, let's just check out this room before we go down.
The curtain of feathers. The image I have in my mind is slightly akin to the beads like a hippie in the 70s might have hanging, between their living room and their kitchen in a very small apartment or something. Is that the idea?
So, yeah, you take a look. There's a thread or a string that seems to be made of spun human hair that runs down from the ceiling to the bottom. There are weighted beads of black stone at the bottom, and then every few centimeters, 10 centimeters or so, maybe 20, down the rope, there's a double loop, and there's a feather going one way and a feather going the other, and they sort of layer over each other. So the effect of the whole is like the breast of a bird.
Right, okay. What about maybe shooting an arrow through there to see if there's like a magical barrier or a field or something? Or maybe launch a stone or something.
I throw a rock.
All right, you pick a rock out of your boot and toss it through the curtain. it flies through the feathers, doing them a little bit of damage, and you hear it go tink, tink, tink on the other side. It's quite echoey in there. The curtain muffles the sound, but you can tell that the chamber beyond is quite big.
I think it's fine. I walk forward and just shove it aside. What do I see?
Okay, this whole chamber is decked out in black stone. If it was back west, then the stones would probably be sort of uniform pavings. But here it's whatever they've managed to break off, and then they've sort of napped it and shaped it through an enormous amount of work, probably using stone tools to make it all fit together. So it's more like a sort of crazy mosaic over all the walls and floor. At the far end is another altar. This one is decorated with crude tribalistic lightning flash symbols, which seem to be inlaid as quartz shards. There are 4 alcoves around the room, each of which seems to have a corpse in it, standing upright. The corpse is swaddled in tanned hide of some kind, and that tanned hide has had bones laid over the top of it, stitched onto the surface. Their heads are strangely long and elongated and crowned with magnificent feathers.
Do they look like they could fit onto a Volkarath, one of the parrot folk? Would the underlying structure of their faces and whatnot match with that?
So you turn and give them a bit more regard, and you realise that they're actually further away than you thought. This whole room, the darkness, the glassiness, really kind of distorts your vision and makes proportions hard to figure out. But when you concentrate, you can tell that these 4 bodies, whoever and whatever they are a full 2 meters tall.
Oh my.
Which is considerably bigger than a Volocrath.
Volkarath.
Well, we found their god, I guess.
Does or would the feeling in this place, the muffling of senses and so on that you described there, is it all just a matter of material goods engineered and placed in a space like this, or is there an aspect of otherness to it that I can sense, or do I absolutely have to use magic to suss that?
You have a bit of a sense of bad mojo. The feather curtain is what muffled most of the sound. Now that you're in here, it's weirdly echoey. It feels like almost like you're trapped inside glass. It's got that weird, uncanny, snappy echo to it. It rings almost.
Is it like going a crypt, Grim?
Is it what, sorry?
Is it like going a crypt?
Yeah.
Oh, I swear to God, that exchange could be in a dry comedy.
Dylan just slides the feather curtain back and be like, well, other way, I guess. I'm not going that way.
I think there might be something here. Like this is maybe in one of the other temples of Baelor. We were able to pass into kind of like an other realm or a pocket world attached to ours that these creatures either transited through or used for whatever purposes. This place might be one such kind of interstitial zone. I'm just wondering if it would be worth our time to explore more fully here.
All right, I just
this could be a source.
I just gesture after you.
Well, I'll certainly step forward.
When you pull the curtain back and Keridin ceases her musings, when you pull the curtain back this time, you can hear the distant sound of many voices chanting.
I just close it back up again.
There's no way that could be outside sound penetrating through this thick walls of this place and carrying, could it? That seems almost an impossibility to me. Does it sound like, if I turn my head to kind of angle, can I sense if the sound is coming from back the way we came, or is it coming from deeper in this weird folded kind of space? I'll move around a bit to get
It's a bit hard to tell, but you think it's coming from back the way you came. out and upstairs. The weird acoustics of this place are sort of funneling the sound towards you.
Is each one of the 4 corpses on each one of the walls? So you've got one at north, south, east, and west.
No, there's 2 on the eastern wall, 2 on the western wall.
Does anyone else agree that we should maybe search this place a little more thoroughly, or should we move on? I don't want to hold this down if no one else is interested. We can always come back.
Perception.
No, I think
I'm up perception.
Yeah, I think this place is interesting. Just
I'm interested. I just don't want one of those things standing up and eating me.
No.
Me too.
Yeah. Stand in the back. Don't worry.
That happened in our last game. We approached a couple of finely decorated skeletal golems that we didn't know were skeletal golems. At least I didn't think they were filled with treasure.
Yeah.
And Grim rather wryly said, "Of course they come to life."
So Grim, there's a feather doorway, if you will, door hanging. There's 4 alcoves inside of which are absolutely gigantic skeleton remains, and then there's 1, or did you say 2 altars? And one of those altars has crude
There's
lightning.
one altar in here with the crude lightning.
And are there any other ways out of here?
Just back the way you came in down the stairs, or up the stairs.
Very good. All right, so I mean, watching foot plates and watching for foot plates, loose foot plates and tripwires, I'll enter, and I'm going to approach the altar.
Okay. You start moving towards the altar, checking the path all the way. Delwyn, who's still by the curtain, you catch a slight whiff of smoke. Your senses are pretty heightened to forest fires and things like that. Green wood and something narcotic.
Sorry. Yes, it's still just got the giggles there.
Right. As Yannick approaches the altar, Caesura, who's looking up at one of these big corpses, these 2-meter tall mummies, sees that suddenly a load of dust sort of springs off it and drifts down to the floor.
What the corpse does or the dust?
The dust springs off the corpse and settles on the floor.
Go into a defensive pose. Here we go again.
Right.
Again, go first.
As Yannick reaches the altar, the 4 corpses creak like old leather and rope and sort of uncurl themselves from their plinths and haul themselves out onto the floor, sort of stepping out with care. Ancient maws creak open, exposing sharp teeth, and they intone some baleful word in some long-dead language that sets your hairs on end. Right, you can formulate a plan. I need to go and get another drink, so I'll be right back.
I hate you, good.
Set them on fire and watch them burn.
I'm a fan of running like hell myself.
Back in a few minutes.
How do you feel about running like hell?
That's what we do best.
Yeah, there's a lot of "I told you so" coming from my character.
The thing is every single temple we've been in, it's either something to do with demonology, or something perverse, or something is out there just to give us more pain than we can take. God. Oh.
Okay, I am back.
Sheridan, my dear girl, are you still with us?
I think he just popped off.
Yeah.
Oh, bless.
He's a good boy, takes care of his mum.
Oh, bless him. I was going to say that Nova spell would be useful right now. But we'd have to shield our eyes.
Or possibly dragon breath.
Yeah, but the thing is, if we burn these things, we'll be high as a kite on smoke insulation with cadaver corpses burning away. Yeah. No the thing about Nova is it can do a whole group. So if Kevin walks forward and says, "By the power of such and such," and let's let Nova, it means
power
you
of
have to shoot
Grayskull.
your eyes. No, Nova, not Grayskull. Nova.
Right. So, Dalewyn is the lightest armoured and quickest on her feet. So, yeah, this great creaking leathery mummy and this gigantic feather headdress with its distorted features and 2 meters of height comes creaking down out from its alcove and steps down. You don't think it's friendly. Giant undead, generally speaking, yeah, they're not coming for tea and muffins. So, what does Dalewyn want to do, Cam?
Yell, I told you so, and run the other direction.
Okay. You dart back out past the curtain, and you can hear the chanting and smell the smoke more strongly out here. Sizora, you are directly facing one of these gigantic things. It stares down at you, saying this dreadful word from its ancient dead mouth, and brings out its hands holding a pair of large obsidian blades. What do you want to do?
Attack with one, defend with the other.
Okay. Its defense is 10.
So I have to get under 11. Oh, here goes nothing. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I got 4.
Okay. Roll for armor penetration. Oh, it's a magic sword, isn't it? So,
Yes,
actually, never mind. Okay. 1 sec, I need to look up something else. Sorry, this is tricky. Okay, right. Okay, I know what I'm doing now, hopefully. Right, so you hit, got through armor. What damage did you get?
I got altogether 7.
7.
Plus 1, that's 8.
Okay. Right, you cleave into it with your magical sword. Its undead flesh sort of burns back like old parchment being put to the flame around where your blade struck. It hisses at you in agony and then begins to chant in rhythm with the chanting that's coming from outside. Is John back? Yep. It's Kerridan.
I am indeed.
It's Kerridan's go.
I am going to take an aggressive stance and begin weaving and chanting the same spell of Deathlight I incanted before, and unleash it upon these foul demons.
Okay.
It's a 16 spell, and oh boy, where's my
Cross off the
and
magic
drop
points.
Yeah, I'm gonna mark that right now.
I was going to say,
Almost.
Glenn, aka Kerridan used Nova, but you already said he's using what you're using.
Deathlight, which is pretty badass.
Is Nova a better spell? Oh no, Deathlight is fine. It's
Yeah.
the first one I really thought of.
Roll d4 to see how many of them you hit.
Okay, here goes 3.
Nice.
Thank you for not rolling a 1.
Okay, their evasion is 3, so it's 13 or under you need to hit.
Okay, first one 3. Second one 16.
So it's a miss.
Third one, yes. Third and final one 10. Oh,
Okay, so
all
2
right.
hits. Roll damage twice.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 6, 4, 5, 15 on the first one, plus what the add-on is 25, I guess total.
Yeah.
And then 6, 6, 4, 12, 16, 25, and 26. Jesus.
Okay. You summon up the magic of light in this dark and terrible place. Raise your hands and blast 2 of them into cinders with powerful bolts of light. 2 remain, and they continue to close on you. Alright. Yannick. 2 of them have been burnt away. There's one that's engaged with Caesura, and the other one hasn't really closed with or attacked or been attacked by anyone yet.
All right, so we it's too late to plan, isn't it?
Yes.
So, all right.
Sadly, yes. Sadly,
All right.
yes.
All right, so I'm going to try to get into the doorway because I don't really want to stick around here.
Yeah.
And if I have time to take a swing, I'll take a swing.
Yeah, you can take a swing at one of them on the way past. So its defense is 10. Take that away from your attack and roll.
Right. That means I have to get a 3. Oh shit, I rolled a 1. How about that?
Crit. So roll damage twice.
Okay, so that would be 9 and 7 for 16, I guess.
16. Okay. Yeah, you sort of rush past this thing, cleave across the back of its legs as you go. Ancient bone and sinew gives way before the magical blade, and it stumbles and almost falls, with bits of its legs still disintegrating.
Will you give me time to cast a spell?
Yes.
I will cast the one that has not been touched. I'm going to cast Imperil on it.
Okay. What does that do again, Roy?
I'll read it to you. Oh, no, forget that. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
It's a touch spell, so forget
Okay,
it.
never mind.
Yeah, I'm going to let it go.
Okay.
That's the end of my turn.
Right. Caesura, what's your defense?
13.
13. Okay, it strikes down at you with both of these black stone blades. You hurl yourself to one side, and both of them strike the ground behind you. Sparks fly up, and one of them shatters to splinters in the thing's hand. The other one turns and lopes after Yannick, reaching for him with its talons. What's Yannick's defense?
Yannick's defense is 8.
Okay, it sort of snatches the air just behind you. You sort of feel its ancient fingernails scrape along your back, but it doesn't manage to get hold of you.
Yikes.
Brother Abbas.
I'm going to attempt to mind bolt the one that's trying to go after Yannick.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Okay, go for it.
Psychic exhaustion roll. Not exhausted. And under 9 for the hit. Rolled a 7, so yep. And damage is... Ooh, nice. 14 points of damage minus armor.
Okay, right, you glare at this thing and concentrate. The vein on your head pulses, and the thing just sort of breaks apart in sections from top to bottom, leaving only the one fighting Caesura. Right. Everyone who has engaged in close combat with one, so that is Sizora and Yannick, roll a d20 equal to or under your reflexes.
Five.
That would be a fail.
Okay. What is your current health?
11.
As you run past and slash this thing, you catch a lungful of some kind of noxious fumes that's coming off the body. As you come to the sort of end of your run, you start coughing up blood, and you can feel it searing your lungs. Take 6 wounds from internal damage.
Okay.
Can everyone take your... Oh, no. Hang on. What's Cizora's magical defense?
Maggie's dead, 10.
Okay. What is Dalewind's magical defense?
Low. 2. But I'm outside.
Yeah. What is Keradan's magical defense?
14.
14. Okay. What is Yannick's magical defense?
Yannick's magical defense is 8.
And what is Brother Abbas's magical defense?
It's 9 normally. It's 11 against mind-based things.
Okay. Right. Brother Abbas and Sizora, even though as these things are being destroyed, it seems to you like the shadows being cast by the lantern, being borne by your helpers. It seems that the shadows are lengthening and crawling outward as if they're becoming solid and reaching for you, as if some kind of shadow demons are creeping in from the edges of the world. New turn. Derwin.
I have an argument with my sword for a little bit, and then I steel myself and I pull open the feather drape and I fire into the creature.
Okay. Roll under your attack.
10. So yes.
And roll armor penetration.
I rolled 8.
Okay, and roll damage.
4 damage. So I wing it.
Yeah.
Clip it.
Okay, you shove open the curtain and fire an arrow into this thing. The arrow strikes it and sticks into its leathery flesh. But as you watch, you see the arrow sort of droop. Black mold spreads across the feathers. The wood rots away into dust.
Great. I yell, "Don't touch that thing!" And then I move back outside.
Sizora, still facing off against this one. It's looking rather ragged and almost dead.
Finish it off.
Okay. It overextended itself when it attacked you, so it has no defense left.
I got 4 on attack.
Okay, and roll damage.
No armor penetration.
No need to worry about that now, because you've got enough plus that you don't have to worry about it.
Okay, a grand total of 8.
8. Right. As it starts to sort of sag, and as it twists towards where the arrow came from, you sort of reach up and hack through its neck sinews with the blade. And it just collapses down and crumbles into tinder in front of you. They are all dealt with.
Does anyone have any cost? Anybody have any cost?
Have any?
Cost-effective healing. Does anyone have any? Like I can heal myself, but it's like 1 for 1d4.
Let me double check.
I reach into my pack and I pull out a second healing potion. I'm like, do you need one of these?
I think that would do the trick. Yeah, that heals 7, right?
Yeah.
All right. If you don't mind, I'm going to quaff it.
Yeah.
I'll toss it over. Yeah.
It arrests the burn of the poison, which gradually fades, and you soon find you can breathe again better. Though you're not sure that's such a wonderful thing, because white and grey smoke is starting to curl down the stairwell into this part of the pyramid, and it has a rather noxious narcotic smell to it.
Do we still see the shadows forming into one, or they back off?
They fade away when the last white is killed.
I bloody told you. I knew they were coming alive.
I'm having a quick rummage around.
What, in their remains?
No, in the whole place. Just have a quick scan.
There's dried blood on the altar. The quartz crystals that form the lightning bolt aren't really worth much of anything. All of this stuff is obsidian, volcanic glass. If you could haul it all out, it would be worth a bit, but probably not. The headdresses and inlays on these things' armor, those might be worth something, but they're a bit unwieldy, given they're designed for something 2 meters tall. You find no secret doors or anything. The only way onward would seem to be down.
Keldon, are you there?
I am. I'm just going over my sheet for.
Right.
Pardon me. A couple of ideas.
Do you get any? Who gets static for magical items?
Brother Abbas consents magical items without having to spend any points too.
Is he with us?
Yeah.
What'd you get from this? The whole obsidian sphere. What'd you get from it?
Nothing.
It's a spear with a bit of shiny stuff on the end.
It's called obsidian.
Obsidian.
Yeah.
No, not detect. No, that really detects anything magical about it.
These fumes are going to drive us down, I presume, because there's only so far they'll naturally come unless they're being driven by magic.
Yeah.
Does the movement of the smoke appear unnatural, as if it's pushing against what the natural kind of pressure of the air here would be, given what we sense? Is there any way to tell that?
No, it's drifting down as it cools from the chamber above, but if the smoke keeps coming, it will eventually fill the whole place.
Okay.
It is making it slightly harder to breathe as well.
I have an item, a magical ring here that will conjure up something called a Wraith Wind, and it creates a 20. It's primarily a damaging effect. Is there any way for me to spend extra magic points to kind of mute the effect of the magic, so it's just like a bubbly wind protecting us rather than that violent D8 damage per turn?
No, but you could use it and cast it in the direction that the smoke is coming from, and it would be powerful enough to blow it back for a while.
Ah.
I mean, there's nothing.
I don't have
for that long. We could just go. You don't have to
okay,
wait.
yeah, I'll put that in our back pocket for later on then. Okay.
There's obviously nothing here, other than because the creature's just disintegrated, right? They don't have any they didn't have a gold crown or anything on them or anything like that.
No,
So-
they have a headdress, but it's feathers and semi-precious stones.
We can just
Let's press on. I'll follow.
Okay. So the only way is down.
Yeah.
You clamber down the stairs and come to another landing with a similar door, but this one is locked off with the same kind of bronze grill that the small side shrine was locked by, and this one is locked as well. You can breathe a bit easier again down here. And there seems to be a counter breeze somewhat coming the other way.
Well, if there's a counter breeze coming from below, that must mean that there's another way out of here.
Or at the very least, some kind of ventilation, yes, but hopefully a way out. Definitely hope so.
Let's continue.
Well,
I'll study the lock again, Grim.
okay, make a roll. No penalty or anything this time.
2.
Okay, you tap it, and it unlocks and opens.
Oh, I should have been happy.
Oh, happy day.
Yeah, very good. Right, within is an antechamber similar to the minor shrine, with more cloaks and elaborate headdresses set on poles and things. There's also a black stone bowl with a black stone knife laying across it. It's clearly treated with some reverence.
Can I detect anything magical from the dagger or the altar?
You think it's used for magic, but it's not innately magical. That's the dagger. Through the other side of this chamber, there's another curtain. This one's a bit thinner, so you can sort of see through it without having to part it. And within the next chamber is what seems to be the inner shrine, the most sacred spot of this temple. There is a big effigy of a god with 2 faces, white of skin, 2 masks of black wood and gold, and there's a statue, a carving of him, highly stylized, sort of laying on a couch, which is studded with blue mosaic tiles. The statue holds a silver staff, topped with a large sapphire, which is about the size of your fist almost, cut to resemble a serpent's head. And the whole room is covered in the same black stone and has the same weird echoes to it.
Snakes. Why do they have to be snakes?
Well, would anyone like to wake up this monstrosity as well?
Why do you do it when you do the big mouth?
I fire an arrow at him across the room.
To hit or not to hit?
To hit it, yeah.
Okay. It's a static target, so yeah, right. You fire an arrow. It goes thunk into the dense black wood of the statue, which doesn't get up and cast terrible magic upon you, or curse you to transform you into a poison arrow frog, or nothing bad happens.
Well then, somebody boost me up so I can take the sapphire out of the staff.
Since when were you a thief? God.
You're not a thief either. Let someone else have a go.
I'm a mercenary. I'm a mercenary. I've got a wife and so many kids back home in Kosovo wanting me to get paid.
Ever since
Thieves are people too.
Lost all of our lands in the Crusades. Girl's got to keep food in her mouth somehow. Help me up.
All right. Just at once. I'll give her my Jimmy.
Okay, can Delwyn and Zora roll d20s under their perception, please?
I hate you, Grim. 5.
And Delwyn? Was that a yes?
Delwyn fails.
Okay. So you don't notice anything. You're fixated on this sapphire. So Zora...
Yeah, it's like a hoop from Aladdin. The sapphire's like in her eyes, right?
Yeah. So Zora gives you a boost up, and he's sort of working this sapphire, trying to get it off the staff.
My dagger. Yeah.
It seems to have been almost like glued in with amber or something. And he's yanking and twisting it. It's starting to give. Zora, you're holding her up, but you notice around the base of this statue, there's a few scrape marks running north-south. And there's also what appears to be a fingernail. A whole fingernail with a bloodied end. Right, with a pop, the gem comes free.
Aha! I like lift it up in the air.
The statue,
Let's jump
remarkably,
down.
still doesn't attack you.
So I am going to take. I can't believe I'm doing this. So I can't. All right. So let's try. This won't work, but let's just try pushing this thing in the north-south direction to see if it moves.
What is your strength?
My strength is 10, maybe. Yeah, it's 10.
Okay, you muscle up to it, and
Yeah.
it doesn't move, but you thought you felt the tiniest of rocking motions.
Okay. Would you folks like to help me with this?
Yeah, I
Do
jammed the sapphire into my backpack.
Do the scratch marks look like in the direction that the statue can be pushed? Or is it in the opposite direction, Grim?
It looks like it can be pushed either direction, north to south. Yannick just tried to push it north.
Well, I'm going to gather up in a cloth or whatever, I'll gather up that little bloody finger. Plan B, of course, is to drop a bowl of blood into the obsidian bowl, but that's a backup plan.
So is anyone else going to help push?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
help.
Okay.
I got my strength 12.
So what's Brother Abbas's strength?
13.
And what is Caesora's strength?
Mine is 10.
Right. So yeah, everyone who's going to try and push muscles up to it this time, and with a great heave, the whole sort of couch thing moves backward. Everyone who was pushing, which I'm taking to be everyone except Kerridan, roll a d20 equal to or under your reflexes.
The only thing that stopped me from pushing in was you didn't call for any more strength to be added in, so I figured, okay, they got it.
Well, you wouldn't want to break a nail.
Okay, I rolled a 3. I think I'm good.
Okay.
I rolled a 17, I am screwed.
So there we go. 2. I'm okay.
Dalen passes.
Okay, so it's just Abbas who failed?
Yeah. Godly doom time.
Not exactly.
Are you prepared to lose a fingertip?
I think that was the whole point.
Haha. Okay, this map is really not clear for this adventure, which is why I'm so stuck all the time.
I'll help you read the map.
Aha!
You're in a,
Right. Okay.
you're in a room full of teddy bears. Nothing happens.
No, not teddy bears. I hate teddy bears.
That's the
Not teddy
wrong
bears.
kind of RPG. The wrong kind of
Yes,
RPG.
you've stumbled onto the secret meeting place of the Build-A-Bear group.
No!
Could have been worse. Could have been full of My Little Ponies.
Oh no, please, no bronies, please, no. Bronies and
Barney's in this case.
Okay. Ah. Everything in Dragon Warriors is in metric, but for some reason in this book it's in feet. Right.
Nice.
That's really helpful. Right.
Divide by 3. No, multiply by... Wait. 3 feet to a meter, so divide by 3. Roughly 3 feet.
Right. Brother Abbas tumbles down a hole that's revealed when you push the couch statue back, and plummets about 20 feet.
Ow.
So that's 6 meters or so, isn't it? Okay, what's your armor factor?
Good old falling damage at 5.
Okay, remarkably, your armor absorbs most of the damage and stops you being too smashed to bits. Yeah, but you land with a thump 20 feet from this hole. It's a fairly narrow shaft leading down, and there are bodies down here which you've landed upon. Most of which seem to have been partially eaten.
Is one missing a finger?
You sort of gather your wits and look, and there's a severed hand missing a fingernail.
I think I found the owner of that fingernail.
There's only one way out, and this seems to be a cave system beneath the pyramid itself. You think you can hear running water not too far away. The rest of you, however, are still up in the shrine.
Can I yell back up the hole?
Yes.
I've landed on a pile of dead bodies. I found the owner of that missing finger. I can hear water.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
I'm going to draw my sword as a precaution as well.
Okay.
I have an idea.
So this is the only way out of like this chamber that we're in. Yeah, it's not just like yeah. So this is going further into the pyramid or like under it or whatever. So I'll get the rope out and we'll tie it to something and then we'll climb down.
Yep, you can loop it around the statue. That should be weighty enough. Okay, and is everyone climbing down?
Looks like we're going underground.
I'm wondering if we should maybe just have at least two people go ahead and just scout a little bit ahead to see if it's worth all of us climbing down, because we don't want to get trapped down there or be without someone to help us back up, right?
Well, this is where like the wind is coming from, right?
Yeah.
So have we gotten out of this like temple what we came here to find?
Well, I'm hoping that there's something under the temple that we're hoping to find.
Because I guess I mean to ask is, did we miss a turn or anything like that?
There weren't any. You didn't miss anything as far as you can make out.
Fair enough. Okay, so I don't mind scouting ahead. I suppose I can use a little bit of. Yeah, I don't mind scouting ahead. See if anything, see what's safe up there.
Okay. So Yannick will climb down and join Abbas, and the rest of you are going to wait up top while they do some scouting?
Sure.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Right. So there's a narrow passage out of this cave. All the walls are sort of clammy, but not exactly wet, just sort of clammy. You have to move single file for a short way, and then the passageway opens up again. There is a tunnel raised up on your right-hand side, and to your left-hand side, a cavern opens up, and there is water running along the ground, sort of down step waterfalls. Each step is only a couple of feet, though, but it's filling this whole area with the sound of running water.
Okay.
So, what do you want to do?
So the tunnel on the right side, I just want to move a little closer, and I just take a closer look a little bit.
Okay. So it stretches back into the rock. It's got a smooth sort of lip to it. It looks like the water used to flow down here. There's a slight channel across the cave floor to there, but it's dry now. Well, everything's clammy, but there's no water running out of it.
Okay, so I think what I'll do is sort of get, and it kind of goes up a little bit as it goes to this cave.
Yeah, it's like there's a drop off, so you'd have to climb and sort of vault up into that part of the cave.
Yeah. So, I'll get a little closer. I'll pull myself up if I can, and then I'm gonna just take a look into that cave real quickly.
Is Abbas moving with him, or?
Yes, I will do. Yeah.
Okay, so you move up, sort of guarding his rear. It looks like the cave tunnel goes on for a reasonable distance and then opens out into another slightly larger area.
Okay. So I'll gesticulate to Brother Abbas to just be quiet for a little while, and I'm just going to listen and see if I can hear any kind of movement or breathing.
You can't, but the white noise from the water running makes it a little hard to hear.
Right. But even then, I can listen to see if there's patterns and disruptions in the pattern of the water. You know, like fish swimming or giant crabs or you name it.
Pardon me, I'm sorry to interrupt, Jim. Jay just sent me a message on Discord. I got a little alert. It says he was booted again.
Okay, so that means he fell offline. Alright, let's re-invite him. Okay. So yeah, you don't hear anything much like that. So what do you want to do?
Can I place my hand on the tunnel wall and try and get a vibe from?
You can indeed.
47% my vibe. I calculated in advance. You want me to roll?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yep, rolled. Got 19, so yeah.
Okay. You sense an ancient, malevolent presence, and yet at the same time something worse, something wicked, and an object which lends this whole place its strength.
I'll reiterate this to my fellow adventurer.
Yeah. Is Yannick gonna go further down the tunnel, or?
I think we should get everyone else down here first.
Nope, we weren't ambushed in the initial area. Good enough.
Okay, so the rest of you clamber down? Okay, so...
I agree, yes.
So once you come out of the downward passage... Sorry, I'm hurrying you a bit, but we're getting close to time.
That's okay, that's okay.
So you come out into this larger chamber. So on the north side, there is this raised tunnel that doesn't appear to lead anywhere that Yannick was able to find out. On the eastern wall, just south of where you just came out, which leads back to the shaft, there's a crack in the stone, which is where the water is pouring out. And around the rim of where the water's pouring out, there's actually small amounts of frost that sort of briefly form and then disappear again. There's a fairly broad tunnel to the south. The water runs to the northwest. And there's a slightly incongruous boulder on the western wall.
You said there was frost forming? Is that normal?
Just where the water's pouring out.
Is the water pouring out like from on top of that boulder? Is that wrong?
No, that's the boulders on the western wall. The water's coming out of the southeastern wall.
How cold is the water? Can I just put my hand near it to see if there's a palpable chill?
It's extremely cold.
I'd also like to reiterate to the rest of the party what my what the sense of evil I got from the tunnel.
I don't. Oh.
I'm sorry, Grim. Which way did we enter this area?
You entered from the east.
Okay, we entered from the east, and then the southwest. You said. I'm sorry. I'm just.
It's okay.
Right. Visualize.
So, think of the chamber that you're in as being like a cross. Yeah. A plus symbol. On the right-hand side, right. That's where you came out. But it's also where the water is coming out. It's just the water's coming from lower down on that side. The upper part of the cross, that's the tunnel you explored. To the southern part of the cross, there is another tunnel that you haven't explored. And to the left-hand part of the cross, there's the incongruous boulder. And then a bit further up from that is where the water is flowing.
The boulder might lead to a chamber up above that either has elemental cold magic. Remember, they said they had elemental. They were tied more closely. The sense we got was 2 elemental magic. And if there's a critter down here living in these tunnels that needs water to survive, maybe it's elementally produced through that pipe system and comes down here.
I mean, I think that's a good place to start. Do we have to cross this water to get there?
Yes, but it doesn't look very deep.
Right.
Let's try and move that incongruous boulder and see what lies beyond it.
Okay. Yeah, the water isn't very deep at all. It's just a mere couple of inches, but the stone is quite slippery. What? If your reflex is 12 or more, you don't need to make a roll. If your reflex is 11 or lower, I'll need you to roll a d20 equal to or under your reflexes.
Before we move the boulder, can I try get a feeling of what's behind it?
You can when you get to it.
Okay.
But reflexes rolls if anyone needs to make them.
I have failed.
Okay.
I rolled a 2, so I'm
You're
okay.
What about everyone else? I think you're all right. You've all got higher reflexes.
So
Okay.
if you had a reflex of what did you say?
12
sorry?
or more.
You didn't need to make a roll.
Yeah, but if it's less than that.
Oh,
You
I
do.
made a roll and I failed.
Okay. So you make your way through the thin layer of icy cold water to the other side. But then Yannick slips and slides down the water slightly and takes Abbas's legs out from under him. So both of you sort of bounce down one of these low waterfalls before you're able to grab hold of rock and stop yourselves. You both take 1 point of damage from cold and bruising. And then pick yourselves up.
I'll laugh and like offer a hand.
It's mostly their pride that was wounded.
Keep your feet under you.
I'm just going to scowl at her.
I'll offer a folded bit of hanky, so they can unwipe their begrimed faces. And
Yeah. Okay, so there's this big boulder just sort of laying against the wall.
I would like to put my hand against it and try and get a sense.
Okay, go for it.
Bear with me. Failed. Got a 59.
For the briefest of moments, you think you can see a woman, sort of grim, unsmiling, white skin, the top part of her head covered in a skull-like mask, but it's only the most fleeting of visions. And then there's a powerful moment of psychic feedback, rendering you psychically exhausted. And you think that your skin is crawling with bugs. You can see like praying mantises crawling all over you, scorpions, and you're just about to start slapping at yourself and screaming when the vision fades. But your head is now pounding. Something truly malevolent lies beyond this, powerful enough to hurt you, even when you fail a vibe check.
I'll put my hands to the sides of my head and just rock gently back and forth. I don't think we want to go this way. I just had a very brief vision, and it's something that can affect my mental capabilities. I don't feel like I could do anything else with my mind today.
Well, this is the way we must go then, if we wish to cure these people of this malevolence. Grim.
Yes.
Do I get a feeling of destiny from this tunnel from Valandar?
Your Valandar sword seems to be tugging you in that direction.
Yeah, we gotta go.
You feel a powerful urge to put this evil down.
Yeah, I say we have to move on. If we don't, these people will prey upon their neighbors until there's nothing left.
Okay, but I'm also going to contribute to the supply of water in here down the side of my leg from the psychic feedback effect.
At least it'll warm it up slightly.
Yes.
I turned back to the two that fell and be like, don't slip in that.
Don't drink the yellow water.
No, it's don't you
Yeah.
say
So, how do the non-adventurers, the hirelings, feel about going down this cave?
They think it's
Or-
safer to stick with you because you've killed everything so far.
Great.
But they are bricking themselves.
Be careful, though. We must move.
Whatever creature's behind this has some vastly mental capabilities, so be on your guard, everybody.
And then we go in, I guess.
How are you going to move the boulder?
Oh, I thought we were moving it. I thought we moved it already.
Just sensing it.
Same way we moved the statue.
Okay, so you all muscle up to it and shove. It's incredibly hard work until you hear something shear and snap. And then what you took to be a boulder turns out just to be like half a boulder or the front of a boulder, and it slides away from the wall. And there is a big metal pin above the entrance to the tunnel. It looks like something on the boulder was slotted on that, and if you just pushed it in a slightly different way, it would have swung quite easily. Still, it's open now. So there's a narrow cave entrance, sort of single file into somewhere beyond.
I gesture for the bruisers to go forth.
So single file. So who wants to go in front?
Are you Sir Elaine's love child? Because you basically are like them.
Could well be.
And the name's Tesoro, not Bruiser. God.
This is a good moment to bend over and not hear anyone and make sure my feet are dry.
So Cesaro in front it is then, yeah?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Okay, give me your...
Sir Elaine's love child box.
Okay. So, what's Cesora, Yannick...
you do it side by side or
Dalewind,
single file?
Single file.
Is that... Well, okay. I'll
Abbas.
screw up ahead.
Okay.
Sneaking up ahead.
Yeah. The light from the guide's lanterns is blocked a bit by all the people behind you. But even so, as you creep out of the corridor into the cave beyond, this cave is a lot taller than most here and seems to have been enlarged by excavations at some point. There are indications that someone has worked the stone, squared it off, carved designs into it, but in and around what was already here naturally. There is a rough altar, a natural table of rock, in the southeastern part of the cave, and on it is a rough pitted idol made of light grey stone, depicting a thin-lipped woman slashing her own throat with an obsidian blade. While it's rough and pitted with age, the workmanship is not like much of anything else you've seen here. It's much more refined, much more realistic, and even cynical old Cesora feels a slight shiver when he looks at it.
Is this approaching like a good stopping point? Because I've got a hard out in about 30 minutes.
We're right near the end. I would rather finish now and...
Okay, cool.
Okay, 30 minutes should be enough.
Yeah, let's press forward.
Okay, so you will file into the room around this ungodly idol.
Is there any other exits, or is it just the idol?
It's just the idol. There's no other exit save back the way you came.
I'll hold my sword about Alec. Does it glow?
No.
So there's no evil
Oh, no,
present.
it's evil. The sword is kind of whispering to you, telling you to destroy this thing.
We got to push it over. Unless one of you has some sort of explosives.
Everyone unconsciously looks at Kerridan.
Yep. I would look sheepishly at Eridan, actually.
I mean, I have some lantern oil, but I don't think that'll ignite.
No, not with obsidian. No.
You have magic swords.
Why don't we just do a massive
Yeah,
gang? Why don't we just do a massive gangbang and smite it all at once?
Yeah. So circle around it. Draw your swords of Valandar.
Yep.
Okay. As you're about to do that, take your perception. No, actually, tell me your perceptions. So, what's Dalwyn's perception?
8.
8. And what is Caesora's perception?
My true age. 15.
Sorry, what is it?
15.
15. Okay. Well, that will do. Okay, so you gather around, draw your swords, and you're about to strike when Caesora catches sight of something in the wet reflection on the rock across the thing, across the cave. Behind you, you can see something slowly unfurling from the ceiling. It's a hairy, mantis-like creature with fluttering, sort of rainbow-hued wings, just sort of flitting at its shoulders. They don't seem to do much of anything. It's moving its mandibles together. It reminds you of a similar demon that was more crab-like you saw in the other temple. And it's slowly crawling across the ceiling and easing its way over your guides who are at the back, ready to strike.
Fire in the hole! Flashbang it.
Flashbang it. Okay, one sec.
Fire in the hole.
Flashbang it.
Yeah.
He has
That's
alchemical flashbangs.
I love it.
Right. Roll under your attack to hit.
4.
Okay, so you toss this thing up into the air while everyone shields their eyes. There's a bright flash and a loud bang that rings off the walls and practically deafens you all. And the creature's great compound eyes, it doesn't have any eyelids, so it can't protect itself from the flash. So it just shrieks and falls from the ceiling and lands behind you all, sort of plucking at its antenna with its claws.
How big is this thing?
Pretty fucking big. Yeah, big enough to block the exit. Right, so Delwyn, there's this thing behind you. You do already have your sword drawn, though.
Yeah, I'll spin around. And is it within striking distance? Or is it like way up on the ceiling?
It was about to drop down and attack you, so yeah, it's well within striking distance.
Okay, I'll slash at it
Okay.
with the sword.
Okay, take 2 away from your attack. And
Okay. So I get +1, so it's a -1 basically. So 13. I roll a 1.
So it's a crit.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a hit straight through armor, and roll damage twice.
I got a 6 and a 5, so that's 11, and then I've got +1 to the damage, right? So it's
Yeah.
12 damage, or is it 13 damage?
Sorry, what
Is
did you roll?
Is it the +1 twice, or is it just the
get-
dice twice?
It's the dice and the +1 to it.
Oh, okay, so then it's 13.
13.
Damage total.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ow. Right. Yeah, you just immediately react by turning and lashing out at this horrendous giant insect bug thing.
Now, is there like attacks of opportunity in this game? Can I flee from this creature?
There aren't exactly, but I tend to rule that when you disengage, it would be able to get an attack, but it's blinded, so it won't be able to. But there's not really anywhere to go. So.
Well, I could like move like behind another party member instead of it being next to me, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what we do.
What is your armor factor?
1.
Right. When you lash out, some of these stray hairs, you brush up against them and they stick into your flesh and detach. And the pain is excruciating. What is your current health?
9.
Okay. Yeah, it burns. It feels like the veins on in your arm are on fire, but you're resisting the poison. But you do take 3 wounds from the needles.
Yeah, I swear loudly, and I like try to like roll back behind one of my fellow party members.
Back away into the group. Cesora.
Shish kebab it.
Or both blades?
Yep, both blades.
Okay, so you don't have no defense.
Yep.
And it can't defend itself, so just roll under your attack twice.
First attack, 4.
Yeah.
And second attack, oh, I'm going to love this dice, 1.
Okay.
Ooh. So that's 1 crit, 1 normal.
Okay, roll the normal damage first.
That will
Oh,
be...
sorry, you do need to do armor penetration because it's got quite a lot of armor. So armor penetration first.
Armor penetration... Where's that sword? Where's that? Ah, here we go. D8 plus 4, so that is 8 on the nod.
Okay, and damage?
And that will be 7.
Okay. Right, and then for the crit?
And that will be...
Just damage twice?
Yep. First one is it's just damage. It's 7. Times that by 2, that's 14.
Okay. So you lash out with both blades, you carve one of its antenna off and lop off one of its claws at the first joint. Greenish ichor bubbles up out of it and seems to sort of clot and seal the wound almost immediately. What is your armor rating?
My armor factor is, believe it or not, a pitiful 3.
3. Okay. You're stuck with spines. Take 3 wounds. What is your current health before that?
Current health is at 13, so that's me down 10.
Okay, you feel that same searing pain that Dale Wind did, and several of these spines have broken off in your skin, and you can feel the poison burning in your veins, but it's not bad enough to really hurt you. Right, the thing lashes out randomly in its blindness. And carves a great furrowed wound across one of Panu's grandchildren. He screams out in pain and drops the lantern, which shatters on the floor, and suddenly everything is much more brightly lit, but the fire's no real hazard. Kerridan. If John's back. She isn't, I don't think. Let's do a Dragon Breath on his behalf, because it's low cost. Right, Kerridan belches magical fire over this thing, just pouring it over it. It goes up as though it's flammable, magic feeding on magic, until it burns away, leaving a faint shadow in the air for slightly longer than is normal, and then disappearing, taken back to whatever hellish pit spawned it.
That's my go.
So, then you can go back to what you were doing. You draw your Swords of Valandar again, clean them off, and as one, strike at the idol. The idol shatters into 1,000 pieces, scattered all around the room. And immediately that it shatters, the earth heaves and rumbles. Rocks begin to fall from the ceiling. Dust and earth begin to pour through the cracks.
We need to get out of here.
Like the bamboo, I'm with you there.
Yeah, let's like. There was only one other way out of here, which was that one tunnel that the water was coming out of, right?
Well, the water's going somewhere.
Right, but we have to like go up that like the like super cold water like tunnel, right?
That's where the water was coming out, but it must be flowing somewhere.
Oh, I see what you mean. There was another place the water was going.
Yeah, which you hadn't explored, but you don't really have a lot of choice or time at this point.
Yeah, I was figuring we should go up rather than down, right? Because we're like under the mountain right now, right?
Yeah.
So.
But you didn't see any way through where the water was coming from.
Oh, so we had that's the only way is where the water is going. Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll go. I guess I'll just start running in that direction, grabbing the guides as I go past. Like, we need to get out of here.
Yeah. You are the only person present with tracking, I think. So
True.
Can you roll d20 equal to or under your perception, please?
No, I can't.
Well,
I'm 2 off.
Hmm?
I got a 10. I'm 2 off.
Okay. Right. Well, you all start running hell for leather down the corridor as fast as you can, following the river, picking your way along the bank. Yeah, it's a series of sort of stepped, short waterfalls, but they're gradually getting taller and taller. But the rate at which this cave is collapsing, you don't think you have time to get to the end before it falls in. At least not moving like this.
Is there anybody like lagging behind?
Probably Keridon, possibly Abbas. They're probably the least athletic.
Can I like carry one of them? Can I like pick them up?
That would slow you down even more.
That's true. Let's see. She's pretty selfish. She'll just burst ahead as fast as she can possibly go. She's got reflexes of 16.
Okay.
So I'm just going to try and make it.
Can Abbas make a d20 roll equal to or under his intelligence, please?
Okay. Intelligence 14. Yep, made it.
Okay. You have a flashback, a flash of inspiration, a vision perhaps from God himself. You remember back when you were a novitiate at the monastery, the master would have you stand under an icy cold waterfall for hours at a time to focus your mind and cleanse the body. But other times, you came back to the waterfall without the master, with the other novitiates, and you would slide down it. And you would go really fast and fly off the end and land in the water.
Water slide.
Yes.
Helter Skelter.
I've just got images from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure going through my head now.
I'm having visions of the Goonies here.
So you think if you slide down this river, that may be fast enough to get you out of here in time?
Well, clearly, the whole he has to tell us.
I have a cunning plan, my friends. Let's use the water to our advantage and slide our way out of it. Literally.
Obviously, the only way to do it is to jump in head first.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Right, so one by one you hurl yourselves into the water and rapidly pick up speed. You have the wind knocked out of you several times as you go down the steps of this waterfall. And then you see light up ahead while the caves are all crumbling around you. You come hurtling out of the entrance, flung into open air, through vines and leaves that whip at you and leave small cuts on your face. Then suddenly you're through the leaves and hanging in the air before you plummet downwards, down the line of the waterfall and land with a heavy smash into the water. haul yourselves up to the surface, grab as much air as you can, drag yourselves to the shore.
I'll just float up, Grim.
Okay, what, face down?
No, I'll float up because I've got the wind on buoyancy.
Oh, true. Yeah, you come hurtling back up out of the water almost as fast as you went in. You beach yourselves at the edge of this the river lake that's formed where the waterfall comes down, and looking back up, you can see the pyramid slowly collapsing down into the earth and taking a large part of the jungle with it.
And then we hear a roar. Corn.
Wet, bedraggled, exhausted from your travails, you find your horses and pack mules and make your way back to Panu.
Ugh.
And that is the end of the adventure. So I will dole out experience and gemstones and stuff. And...
Yeah, make sure to put the sapphire in my back.
Yes.
Yeah, boys.
And I will see you on Saturday if you're around.
That was a great game, guys.
Cheers.
I should be playing on Saturday because my crew game's been changed from Saturday to Sunday. So
Okay. Alright, so might see you then.
Yep,
Right.
see you in a bit then.
Take care.
You too, Grim.
Take care, Grim.
Cheers.